Coming up on News Live at 6, President Biden is planning a visit to the Syracuse area next week, but could he make a stop right here on campus? What the White House has to say tonight.
And rain, rain, go away if these scattered showers are going to stick with us here in central New York. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
President Joe Biden is planning to visit central New York next week. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Nicole Aponte.
And I'm Chilekasi. Adele. He graduated from SU Law School back in the late 60s and has been back here many times since. So the question we're all asking is, could he make a stop right here on campus?
That's the question we're sure asking. Well, our political reporter, Luke Radel, has been working his sources and joins us now in studio. Luke, I think everybody's asking, when is the president coming and where's he going to be?
Nicole, that's the million-dollar question, or should I say the $6.1 billion question, because that's how much money Micron is getting thanks to legislation signed by President Biden. Sources say that he's planning to be somewhere in central New York to celebrate 1 week from today.
Well, thank you very much. Hello, Syracuse.
President Joe Biden is planning a return to central New York next week, marking his first public visit to the area since 2022.
We know he's coming, and I look forward to it. That's because I worked with him and lobbied him to bring the plans, to get the money and bring the plans here.
Biden plans to tout the over $6 billion of federal money being spent towards Micron, most of which will be going to central New York. And though the White House has been tight-lipped about possible venues and says that no locations have yet been finalized, a source familiar with the planning says that a potential visit to Syracuse University's campus is in the works. SU students react to that possibility.
I think that'd be very exciting, yeah.
You can say what you will about him. He's still the president of the United States. When there's the opportunity to have the president on campus, especially when he was here as a student, I think that's really cool.
Biden graduated from SU's School of Law in the class of 1968, and in the decade since, he's spoken very fondly of Syracuse.
Syracuse holds a special place in my heart.
This law school educated and stood by me.
Biden's last visit to campus was in 2016 to deliver the commencement address at SU Law School.
Good to be home.
But Biden's been on the Hill many other times since he graduated, including in 2015 when he spoke to students at Goldstein Auditorium in the Shine Student Center. If Biden were to come to campus this time, though, it would mark his first visit as commander-in-chief. At a campaign event today in Philadelphia, Biden briefly mentioned his alma mater when standing with members of the Kennedy family. Biden told the story of how he tried to see a speech that Robert F. Kennedy gave in Hendricks Chapel.
He came up to Syracuse University and spoke, and I waited in line, and I didn't get a chance to physically meet him. I never got, but he inspired me.
Next week, Biden gets to be the special speaker in the 315. Now, Chile and Nicole, it's important to note that the president's schedule is often written in pencil and not pen, and this is pretty far out from the event, so nothing is quite certain. But I can report tonight that there are discussions happening between SU and the White House to host the big announcement. Back over to you guys.
Luke, thanks for your coverage tonight. Should be a very fun day next week. Well, happening right now at the Dome, Bruce Springsteen is getting ready to perform. This concert was originally scheduled for September, but was postponed to tonight. Citrus TV's Caitlin Campbell joins us now. Casey, the anticipation is building. How is it going to be different this time around, and how does this impact students going to the concert or just out on campus tonight?
Hey, Nicole and Chile. Well, the rain really isn't here stopping the glory days at Syracuse University with Bruce Springsteen in town for the rescheduled concert that was originally supposed to be in September, but ultimately got delayed until tonight. Now, the gates opened at 5:30 for the 7:30 start, and as you can see behind me here, the fans are lining up, getting ready to see the boss. Now, with the concert does come some traffic implications. There will be some road closures with Comstock Avenue, and especially with the shuttle between here and Skytop, where they're really encouraging people to park. I got to speak with the Dome staff about kind of how they set up for this concert compared to last September's, or this past September's supposed to be concert date.
Everything's cashless. The clearback policy will really be into effect. It's been working really, really well. People have been listening to that. We really appreciate it. So We were able to add a lot more floor seats after we built this the first time and saw what we could do. Ticket sales have been great. Again, we didn't have really, I was shocked with the amount of people that maybe asked for a refund. There was very, very little of that. We actually ended up selling more tickets than what we had sold for the last show.
Now, if you are planning on attending the concert and haven't started coming down to the Dome, I recommend you do to avoid any rain pickups, but also just to get a great line for merch, for your food and drinks, all before the concert starts here at 7:30 tonight. Again, reporting from the Dome, I'm Caitlin Campbell, Citrus TV News. Guys, back to you.
Caitlin, thanks so much. Orange After Dark is hosting Lightning Laser Tag tonight. I know I'll see you there. No, just kidding. Well, the event goes from 9 to 11 at Skyward on South Campus. Attendees can play a few rounds of laser tag while also getting some free food. Those who attend must have a valid SUID and must RSVP on Q's activities.
I have to cancel my plans to come.
Oh, I know. We have our Thursday dinners always after our newscast on Thursday. So great tradition.
Yeah, well, talking about tomorrow, it's SU's One University Awards ceremony. The annual event honors members of the SU community who make a difference around campus through academics, scholarship, creative work, and dedicated service. Major awards, including the Chancellor's Medal and the Chancellor's Citation for Excellence, will be presented. The ceremony starts tomorrow afternoon at 4 in Hendricks Chapel.
New details, save seats the color blue, and putting the flag at half-staff are just a few ways the Syracuse community has come together over the last few days to honor Syracuse officer Michael Jensen and Onondaga County Sheriff's Deputy Lieutenant Michael Husak after they were shot and killed on Sunday.
That's right. The city lit up in blue last night in support of the Syracuse police and to remember the two fallen men. The blue lights could be seen across Syracuse, including our campus, as the JMA Wireless Dome was illuminated. Blue can also be seen today, as many Central New York schools have asked students and staff to wear blue in support.
A decision has also been made for all Onondaga County and Syracuse city buildings to fly their flags at half-staff until the burial of Jensen and Husak. Mayor Ben Welch and Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon directed that the flags be lowered yesterday to honor the men.
And finally, Eva's European Suites, a restaurant in Salve, has reserved a table for two by the front entrance. Owners say the two men, like law enforcement officers in the county, stop by Eva's regularly after their shifts, and while they'll be no longer there in person, Eva's manager, Allison Perkins, says they will be there in spirit.
And in more updates on the fallen officers, the Tunnels to Towers Foundation has announced that it will be paying off the mortgage of Onondaga County Sheriff's Deputy Lieutenant Michael Husak. Husak leaves behind his wife and 3 young children. Let's go to that first. Look at our weather.
Yeah.
Rain, rain, go away. Why can't we just have one nice Thursday?
It felt as if we were turning a corner. Last week we said April showers bring May flowers, and then there seemed to be April flowers, and then now we're seeing more April showers.
I agree with you, Chile. Well, hopefully the sun...
That was a master rhyme there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a poet. It's a poet on Thursday News today. Well, let's go to our Luke Welch. He's tracking the forecast for us. Now, Luke, what's going on right now?
Well, Chile, Nicole, you guys are right. As you can see behind me, that rain has just been coming down all throughout today, and it's probably not going to change anytime soon in terms of the day. But you know what? Tonight we might get some of a break from that. We take a look. The temperatures right now, we've been sitting in those high to mid 50s all day. We're sitting at 52 right now, and those calm winds are making it feel just like around there. So we take a look into the temperatures around our region. It's been pretty consistent. We see mid to low 50s, a low down up in Rome, at 49, and a high down in Myra at 61, which is pretty normal for this time of year. But again, those mid 50s up in Syracuse, down in Cortland and Binghamton as well. If we take a look into tonight, we're only going to drop a degree or so, but we're going to get a break from that rain, luckily, as we might not get tomorrow and the day after that. Those showers, again, as I said, are going to leave, and those temps are going to stay consistent throughout the night. I'll have your full 5-day forecast later in the show, but for now, Nicole, Chile, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Luke, we'll see you a little bit later on. New at 6 tonight, we've seen some movement in frat and sorority houses over the past couple of years, but there is another sorority on campus making a move now. Citrus TV's Cami Bremer tells us about the new change in scenery.
Hey guys, that's right. After years of renting their current house, which is located right outside of Bird, the sorority Phi Sigma Sigma will be owning a new house. Phi Sigma Sigma, also known as Phi Sig, is a sorority on campus here at Syracuse University. The house, located at 1003 Walnut Avenue and home to many of the sorority's members, will be no longer after the end of the spring 2024 semester. 1003 is currently rented by the sorority, but Phi Sig will now be owning their future house, which is located on Walnut as well, the primary location for many other fraternities and sororities. Construction for the house has started, and the plan is for its completion in time for the next upcoming school year. Phi Sig members, as well as the president, share their thoughts with Citrus TV.
I'm very excited. It's going to be really awesome. I'm super excited to have more space and have a revamped house. I'm so excited. We're getting a new house because we really wanted to own our home. Right now we're renting, so it's going to be a permanent home for us, and we're going to have it for years and years to come.
Cami Bremer, Citrus TV News.
Cami, thanks so much. A man has been sentenced to 47 years to life in prison for the kidnapping and sexual assault of a 9-year-old girl. Craig Ross Jr. pleaded guilty to abducting the girl from a Morrow Lake State Park campground. Saratoga County Assistant District Attorney said on the girl's behalf, quote, "I was imprisoned for 2.5 days and now you'll be imprisoned for 47 years. That was, of course, said in court.
A Syracuse man is in critical condition after being shot in the chest. Police say officers responded to a shooting around 3:30 yesterday afternoon on West Kennedy Street. The 33-year-old man was rushed to Krause Hospital in a private vehicle following the shooting, where he arrived with injuries from the shooting. Coming up on News Live at 6, we continue to follow new details on that shooting in our state's capital. The cause of death for the suspect who shot an Albany cop.
Plus an update on the hearing and protest happening at Columbia University. Next.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Chilekasi Adele, Nicole Aponte, and Welch. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Okay, welcome back to News Live at 6. New details now from Albany, where police-involved shooting took place early yesterday morning. Names have been released for the officer and the suspect. Officer Jonathan Dampier and suspect Emil Olayan were the two men involved in this situation. It's also been confirmed by a coroner that the cause of the suspect's death was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say the officer was ambushed at a routine traffic stop by the suspect, and after being shot at, the officer returned fire. But Albany police now say the shots the officer fired were not the ones that killed the suspect. When asked at the press conference about the released video, Police Chief Eric Hawkins says he wants to protect the suspect's family.
What that officer was going through was just horrific.
And
Sorry
out
about
of
that. Let's
respect to
move on.
that officer's
Yeah,
family.
let's go to New York City now, where Columbia University officials, including the university's president and leader of its board, went before Congress Wednesday in an attempt to clear up criticism that the campus has become a hub for anti-Semitism.
During the hearing, topics that led to the departures of the presidents of Penn and Harvard were brought up, including if calling for the genocide of Jews violates the university's code of conduct, to which all four members responded, quote, yes, it does.
Today at Columbia's Manhattan campus, dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters arrested. It comes after student protesters set up an encampment on the south lawn of the school's campus yesterday.
Yep, those protesters calling for Columbia to divest from Israel-related businesses. The school's president says she was the one who authorized the NYPD to take action.
The latest now to Washington. President Biden announced this morning the U.S. will be imposing new sanctions and export controls on Iran. These follow Iran's massive missile and drone strike on Israel earlier this week.
In a statement this morning, Biden said, quote, the sanctions target leaders and entities connected to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Iran's defense ministry, and the Iranian government's missile and drone program that enabled this brazen assault, end quote. Biden also said that the U.S. is, quote, committed to acting collectively to increase economic pressure on Iran. And a full jury has been seated in the hush money trial of former President Donald Trump. One alternate has also been selected for the criminal trial.
The day started with 7 jurors seated. However, 2 were excused, one over concerns of her identity becoming public, and one after questions regarding the truthfulness of his answers being brought on by prosecutors. The process to select the rest of the alternate jury will begin tomorrow. To Luke now.
Coming up, if these scattered showers are here to stay throughout this weekend and early next week, find out in SU's most accurate forecast after the break. See you there.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
It's just 6:18 now. That means another check of our weather with our Luke Welch. Luke, is there any good news? Give me something.
You know what? I think we just got to get through today, tomorrow, and then this weekend, and we can finally see those nice sunny temperatures. I'll have that on my 5-day forecast in a minute. But this week, honestly, I know I was sick early this week, so I didn't get to enjoy that sun on Monday and Tuesday that I know you were telling me about. But
yeah.
I was really, really jealous. But hopefully we can see those better temperatures, those better sun next week, because honestly, I was walking around today and I was honestly miserable.
Yeah,
Me
generally
too.
speaking, there's been a lack of good news lately, especially today.
Well, hopefully, Luke Welch, be the bearer of good news.
Yeah, well,
for
let's
us,
take a look at
please.
that 5-day forecast, guys. As we can see right there. You know what, tomorrow it's going to be breezy and wet like it was today, but it'll be a little bit warmer, so you know that's something to look forward to. If we take a look into Saturday, that temperature is going to drop a little bit. It's going to be pretty similar to today, and then we finally get to that light, as I always mention, at the end of the tunnel, where the sun's going to come out, and luckily those temperatures are only going to be up on the rise. So Sunday it's going to be 53 degrees, similar how it was today, but that low of 37 is not looking the nicest, and then we get to Monday and Tuesday when we finally get to those nicer temperatures. You know, I'm thinking of taking a trip to Green Lakes myself and getting out there and hopefully being able to swim based on how warm it will be later on next week. But you know what is looking better than this weather, I think, right now is Syracuse women's lacrosse. Nick Luttrell, what's coming up in sports?
All right, Luke, that's right. Coming up in sports, as we speak, Syracuse women's lacrosse is battling Boston College in its regular season finale. We'll have your score update and show you some highlights when we return.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
the falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at WeSaySaveIt.org.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Syracuse women's lacrosse is out for revenge. Welcome into sports. I'm Nick Luttrell. We're midway through the third quarter between SU and Boston College as we speak. The Orange are up by 1, but now, yes, Syracuse has already secured the 1 seed in next week's ACC tournament, but I don't think that's left Coach Kayla Trainer's squad any less motivated heading into this one. BC has had SU's number as of late. The Eagles were actually the team that robbed the Orange of their undefeated season just about a year ago today. You can see some of the footage behind me. And also, they upset them in last year's national semifinals. So, as I mentioned, the Q's seeking revenge tonight. Let's go to Chestnut Hill to see some highlights between these two opponents. Syracuse in the first quarter, wasting no time. Emma Ward finding Olivia Adamson. Q's up 1-0. Fast forward a few minutes later, Eagles got a lot of offensive weapons. Belle Smith is one of them. Gets BC on the board. Later in the first quarter, though, here come the Orange. Emma Tyrell firing and finding the back of the net to knot things at 2. Tyrell announced earlier today as a Tewaaraton nominee. Someone else who wasn't Tewaaraton nominee, but who's been playing great this season, and that's Emma Ward. That goal allowing the Orange to reclaim their lead. A lot of offensive weapons on both sides, but Delaney Schweitzer, how about her performance in the first quarter with 6 saves? But we'll check in now on how this game is going. Early stages of the third quarter. That score graphic actually needs to be updated. Syracuse only up by 1, 5-4, but man, we talked about it. The first regular season title in program history, but man, Boston College has had their number as of late. Both of these teams, though, playing really good lacrosse right now. You can be sure to keep it right here on OTN as our post-game show, Orange Press Pass, will be live at 9 o'clock to break down the rest of this game. So we'll move from the women's side of Lax to the men's. Attackman Joey Spallina and goalkeeper Will Mark have been named Tewaaraton nominees. That means they're 2 of the best in the nation, as only 25 total players were nominated. The Tewaaraton Award is given annually to the best player in college lacrosse. But as you could expect, SU isn't too focused on individual awards right now. The number 7 team in the nation will close out its regular season on Saturday as number 4 Virginia comes to town. So a big game on Saturday for the men's lacrosse team, and a big pickup today for the men's basketball team. Dan Ingolstad has joined the Orange as the next assistant coach. Ingolstad has been the head coach at Mount St. Mary's for the past 6 seasons before resigning last week to supposedly take the Syracuse job And today, the Orange made it official. In a press release, Ingolstadt said, quote, "This is a great opportunity for me and my family to become a part of one of the best brands in college basketball. I grew up watching Syracuse play. I'm thrilled to have the chance to support Coach Autry and join that community," end quote. So sure will be exciting to see how Ingolstadt will do next season for the Orange. Something else to be excited about, that's Syracuse football. Head coach Fran Brown is bringing in a top 25 transfer class for next season, and Saturday is the first time fans will get a look at the new team. Here's what head coach Fran Brown had to say about this weekend's spring game.
If you're from Syracuse, you should be at the game because you'll see it. And we're going to set it up where you're going to be able to see action. You know, it's not going to just be where, okay, it's fun. Hey, put the old lineman back deep, let him catch a punt. I ain't with all that bull crap. We ain't doing that. We're going to let us get in there and play ball. So being there early and you're from here, you'll like it because you're going to see contact.
So spring game set for Saturday at 7 o'clock. If that doesn't make fans want to show up this weekend, I don't know what will. Should be really exciting.
Yeah, busy week on the Hill, of course. Nick,
Yeah.
What can we expect in this spring game? Is it going to be like, are we going to get some legitimate football action here with hitting in pads, or it's going to be more game-oriented? What are we going to say?
Well, Coach Brown was just talking about it. It's not going to be lackadaisical from both the orange side and the blue side of the squad for Syracuse. It's going to be hard-hitting football. He's going to give what Syracuse fans want to see. I mean, you really think about what he has done taking over this program and bringing it to new heights this season. It's really something special. I think that's going to bring fans out, and I think there's going to be a lot of people there. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, the question is how many, right? You think we're going to see a full house? It probably won't be a full house.
Maybe not quite a full house. Probably the most we've seen in a couple of years at least. This is definitely the most hype this program has had since maybe Dino Baber's second or third season. It's really exciting.
Yeah, you hear the buzz. It's starting to come up, and maybe it will translate. We'll be, by the time we're all gone.
We're all gone.
Yeah,
then it'll be great.
Of course, things are turning around.
Of course.
Yeah. We're happy for our underclassmen, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nick, thanks so much. When we come back, we have one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no...
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Well, let's take a look at this rain system that we're going to be experiencing over the next few days. It's currently sitting in the Midwest, even in Arkansas, where I know our sports anchor Nick Luttrell's from, but it's going to be heading up towards us here in New York, as you can see. We're going to be getting it over Saturday, but luckily, after Sunday morning, we're going to be nice. And we take a look at your wake-up weather tomorrow. It's going to be sitting kind of like how it was today. We'll be sitting at 46 degrees when you wake up, and then we'll be going up into the mid-50s, high 50s, even to low 60s, and that rain is going to be there throughout the day. Guys, it's not the most exciting thing, but you know what? We can look forward to next week.
At least the temps are a little higher than we're used to. So, Luke, thanks so much. We'll take a look at this now, this question, and see if you can guess the right answer. Let's take a look at your screens. Jim Brown, Joyce Carol Oates, and Joe Biden are orange men and women of renown as alums of this college in New York.
Well, if you guessed Syracuse University, you would be correct. Jeopardy had SU as an answer to one of the questions on its show last night.
Let's go. Syracuse University getting national recognition. I always love that because I can't answer any Jeopardy questions usually.
Not that
so
smart.
that's what I would have got.
The Orange fam is so strong. I love seeing it on national television.
I feel like you would like Jeopardy.
Well, I don't. For me, I feel like for a lot of other people up and down the East Coast too, and maybe I learned this when I get to school. The Power Hour of 7 o'clock Jeopardy, 7:30 Wheel of Fortune.
Power Hour.
How old are you, kid?
We don't display that information on the air. That's Citrus TV News live at 6 for this Thursday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Nicole Aponte.
And I'm Chilekasi, Adele. Please hug your loved ones tonight. We may see you next week. We're not sure. If not, goodbye.